this one went full hentai at the end, just tentacles everywhere. Welcome to the Time Treadmill. I'm Ron, and these are my sweaty thoughts about Doctor Who. So before I get to the story itself, I've got one weird piece of trivia for you for Spearhead from Space. This story is the first Doctor Who story since Galaxy 4 to not have the word "the" in the title. It's joined by other such luminaries as An Unearthly Child, Marco Polo, and my least favorite Doctor Who story ever, Planet of Giants. As for the story itself, this is a masterclass in how to properly reboot and reinvigorate a television series. This is now 7 years into the program, and of course, the big thing is the switch to color and the switch to Jon Pertwee as the third Doctor. But even beyond that, this is setting up and making the program accessible to a brand new group of viewers. It's a complete reset of the series setup, with the Doctor stranded permanently on Earth. Well, permanently for the foreseeable future, and introducing an entire new set of actors on the show. Not only with Jon Pertwee as the third Doctor, but also adding Liz Shaw as the new ongoing companion. Literally the only two things providing a link to the past is the presence of the TARDIS, although it no longer functions, and the presence of Brigadier Alistair Gordon Lethbridge Stewart. Short of Sarah Jane Smith, the Brigadier is the most beloved character in all of Doctor Who history, and for good reason. Nicholas Courtney is phenomenal in the role, and he provides exactly the straight man that the Doctor needs. The new setting is based around UNIT, the United Nations Intelligence Task Force, although that gets renamed in the modern series because the United Nations objected or something. But in any case, having UNIT there to provide soldiers in the military backdrop, and also as a way to quickly encounter new alien incursions, is a great framework for the stories. This works beautifully well, and Jon Pertwee is just magnificent as the Doctor. I don't like to rank the Doctors because honestly I love them all, but Jon Pertwee manages to take the charm and whimsy that Patrick Troughton brought to the role and expand it into entirely new dimensions. Pertwee is endlessly watchable and delightful as the Doctor, but he also brings an entire man of action aspect to the character that has never been there before. And as for the story in Spearhead from Space, there's a good reason that Russell T Davies modeled the modern era's return after this episode. It's not just that he used the Nestine consciousness and the Autons, but he built the entire framework of how to introduce a brand new Doctor to a brand new audience. And this story does it beautifully well. Over the course of the first 2 episodes, you'll learn everything you need to know about the Doctor, with the second 2 episodes focusing more on the alien invasion itself. That plot thread is there right from the beginning, and it's a slow burner that waits to really start to come to a boil until the second half of the story. By the end of this story, the Doctor's position as scientific advisor to UNIT is cemented, and all of the pieces for the stories going forward are there and in place. I think Robert Holmes was a perfect choice as a writer to bring in the new Doctor. This is not Holmes's first story in Doctor Who, but he will go on to become easily my favorite of the classic series writers, especially later on during the Holmes-Hinchcliffe era of the show, where it becomes extremely gothic and horror and dark, and oh, it's so good. But this right here, this is the James Bond era of the show. It's all high adventure and alien espionage and military tactics, and oh, it's so good, so good. And Liz Shaw as companion, she is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated companions in Doctor Who history. She's only around for this 1 season, but the alchemy between the Doctor and Liz Shaw is just magic from the very first moment they're together. I love this story so much. If you are digging into classic Doctor Who and you're looking for a story to watch and don't want to go all the way back to the black and white era, you could pick no better story than Spearhead from Space to dive in from. I would rate this much higher than Tom Baker's premiere episode, Robot. This one just hits the ground running and fires on all cylinders right from the beginning, and I love it so much. I know I kept saying this with Second Doctor stories, but tomorrow I dive into one of my all-time favorite Third Doctor stories. I will grant you I have quite a few all-time favorite Third Doctor stories, but the one tomorrow is really something very special. I hope you'll be here to check it out. So until then, as I always say, stay home, stay safe, be kind, be patient, and I will see you tomorrow.